So how did you guys meet Susan Ebert?
Did you meet her before I did?
Yeah,
or did we meet her?
I did.
Oh,
I did. Where did I meet you? I mean, I know I reached out to you, but we had already spoken before that. But I was trying to think back on that. Like, when was the first time we actually met?
Didn't we meet on the couch in the office?
That
And then we
sounds
talked
really
for a really long time?
That's where I met you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you and I had spoken before that, and I don't know.
Who connected us?
Just come in by
Shelby.
yourself?
James Shelby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But you were already in my phone, so I was racking my brain. But okay, so I can't answer exactly where I met her. She was in my phone when I reached out to her, so I was like, okay. But for me personally, and I think for Rachel as well, we're the type of people like when we've house hunted, we don't like to spend 2-3 months. So we do a lot of like, let's look and let's kind of do our due diligence from the outside looking in without people knowing, and really just
We stopped you.
well, it's funny because and I shouldn't say all, but there's a lot of companies and a lot of offices that are trying to duplicate what's taking place here. And so it's one of those things where, people notice it. And I know, like, you don't like to take credit for that per se. However, you've provided an environment for it to flourish.
Yes.
And that most brokers aren't willing to do. I think not that they don't want to, but I think they're deathly afraid to do it because it requires, going back to the whole faith thing, you do things very differently. Very differently.
Yeah.
But that, for us, is what pulled us in and attracted us. But I don't remember exactly how we met. She was on my phone when I reached out to her.
Well, and then it took a minute, and so when you're on this side, you're like, oh, are they going to come? You have to remember to ask them to come. Remember, tell them you want them to come work here. Sometimes I forget that when I'm talking to people. But I was starstruck. I was a little bit starstruck, and I was like, what? Are you going to talk to me? Yeah. And I was so excited. I loved when I met you. Okay, so first of all, I'm shallow in that I think that you're both beautiful human beings on the outside. And so I love all that, being the cute couples when you're young and you're in the fours, 2s, 3s, and 4s and 5s. And you have your small kids, but you have these beautiful teenagers. And when we were talking, I was like, these people are real. And you're really going to do something, and you were wanting to launch something, and you had a vision and a dream. And I was like, oh, they're a good fit. I don't know if they know it, but they would fit here. And it was really exciting for me.
That's awesome.
Like,
Well, and I loved that, like, when you talked about, obviously just kind of, you're not, how do I put this? I don't want to offend anybody, but I like that it's important to you that people are a good fit there. How's that?
Yeah.
Is that put properly without offending anybody?
Well, I know for me that when we were looking, we had talked to several brokerages.
Yeah.
And it was like you go in and they give you like the whole sales pitch
Like the
of
Mike
why
Ferry
you should be there. And I'm
spiel.
like, I've been to Tom Ferry. I know what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to know what you have to offer, And our thing was we want a good environment. We don't care if we're paying a split or a flat rate or whatever. We just want a good environment. And like we came and met Susan and I was like, yeah, this is it. And then after we left, there were several other people that were trying to get us to come over and he'd be like, well, what about this one? I'm like, nope. We're going to Signature.
Yeah, we did a lot of homework.
Yeah.
And I will give one little extra plug if we have time. It's a great compensation model here, but that wasn't what did it for us.
No, not at all.
Because we did talk to other companies that, did an offer as, like, we were really open-minded with, like, let's take compensation out of it. And so I know, like, as a company, oftentimes what's promoted or talked about is compensation. That's like cherry on top. But I honestly, like, it's just like, the people really, and like the environment. And again, I know you don't want to take credit for it, but just kind of how you've laid a certain foundation for people to grow on
Just let people do what they want to do as long as it's legal.
Yes.
That was the biggest thing for us. And I mean, no, I don't mean anything else. That was the biggest thing for us.
Yeah. And I mean, where else are you going to go where your competition are also your friends? Like, they're always also going to help you, And that's definitely
Well, and
her.
I'm selfish when I talk to people coming in because I always think, oh gosh, look at what they could contribute.
Right.
And so
yeah.
I'm coming from the other perspective of knowing when you come on, oh gosh, these people are going to flourish, and there's new blood, and there's faces, and there's different systems, and there's different stories, and there's different careers, and I know that you had so much to contribute. And so that's really exciting when I'm on this side of the couch.